We've got a good example for you here at Hugh McRae Park. Now, these tennis lights allow people like Emma Zach, our photographer, and I to use the lights only when they're needed. Otherwise, the county would have to keep these lights on until midnight when the park closes. This is, here we're coming up to it, a plow line that prevented the fire from spreading across the street to the other mobile homes that were occupied. Now, it has been so dry out that this fire spread very, very quickly. Well, John, photographer Emma Zach and I are at the home of Mark Davis, and I am obviously sitting on one of his 59 sandbags that surrounds his entire home in order to secure it. Now take a look here. Something is obviously missing. This porch used to sit on top of sand, and actually the sand was up to above my head. Now homeowners are hoping that officials will call this area a disaster area. Well, John, Emma Zach and I, the photographer, watched them salt this bridge just a couple hours ago, but as you can see, the snow is falling very steadily, and it's covered this salted bridge with snow, so it's very safe to say that this bridge is very slick right now, and we know that because we were playing around in the snow a little bit, and we have found several ice patches here. I might soon be walking down Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard instead. Now, it's normally the state that changes the names of state-maintained roads. But since Smith Creek Parkway is completely within city limits, they decided to leave the ball in the city's court. First of all, it starts in less than an hour here at the old New Hanover County Courthouse, which is the building behind me. And the obvious question is this some type of damage control after the highly publicized problems between City Councilwoman Catherine Moore and the Wilmington Police Department? Now, as it stands, citizens can file their complaints with the Wilmington Police Department against the police, but it is the Wilmington Police Department who investigates those complaints. Citizens can also voice their opinions to several state and federal agencies. Over the last 5 years, 248 citizens have filed complaints against the Wilmington Police Department. During that time, 51 police officers were either fired, resigned during the investigation, or were disciplined. There's no telling how long these sand dunes will be around. The city does plan to put in a fence. They also plan to plant some vegetation like these to help the sand stay put. But a large enough storm could wipe out all this sand in a matter of an hour.
Well, you might be wondering what the difference is between a speed hump and a speed bump. Well, speed humps and bumps are both the same height, but speed humps are a little bit longer, meaning it gives your car more of a gradual slope to go over, so it's easier on their shocks and suspension.
We asked Clint Childress, what was the hardest part? After all, he was locked up for a year, his integrity doubted, and all of his savings spent on defending himself against rapes he never committed.
Once you had everything taken, and you realize that you're facing 15 to 20 years, you know what I'm saying, of your life, every little thing becomes valuable.
It all started July 15th, 2000. Clint was walking home from taking a dip in the pool in the early morning hours. Police had been looking for a serial rapist in the area, and another woman had just been violated.
He was taken from a police car, brought in front of the headlights of another police car where the victim of this crime and her daughter were seated, and asked, is this the individual who committed this crime?
The woman identified Clint as the rapist. Later they learned it was really David White. In the meantime, police simply had a responsibility to put Clint in jail. But attorney Griff Anderson believes police made two mistakes. One, not using a lineup to identify the suspect in the first place, and later, not chasing other leads.
As soon as DNA positively linked David White to two of the series of rapes that were committed in Carriage Hills, it should have become obvious to us as well as to the authorities that one individual had committed these crimes.
The rapist asked all his victims for sex toys, assuming two different guys committed the same crime in the same way on the same block was where attorney Griffin Anderson says detectives went wrong. As for Clint, he's not worrying about the police. He's focusing on putting his life back together.
I'm glad the truth has been revealed, and right now I'm just thankful that I work for great people. I've got great family, I've got great friends.